Lorna from Fairy Chic Emporium, and I don't know if you remember, but a week or so ago I did a different table with a patchwork top that there is also a video, and I did mention at the end that I had another table the same, and I've been thinking long and hard about what I'm going to do with it because I want to do something completely different. I've now come up with an idea. I don't know if it will work, but we'll have a go. So I'm using London Vintage teapot chalk paint. I just want to show you, I've literally just opened it, I haven't stirred it. Look at the quality of that, absolutely gorgeous, lovely lovely colour. So what I'm going to do is give all of the base a coat of this colour and maybe a little bit around the top, and then I'm going to show you what I do to the top because that's going to be the fun bit. So I'll get the boring bit out of the way, you don't need to see that, and then I'll come back when we get into the good bit. Right, so I've done literally 2 coats of this gorgeous colour. The coverage is fabulous, and I wanted to show you, I had a bit of a dilemma on size. That's all I've used to do this whole of this table, and all underneath is done as well. This comes in 500ml pots as well, which is just great for smaller projects, but look, I mean, I could have done really quite a big project with that. So the next stage is, I've got an old book, an old dictionary, and I've torn out a load of pages. It's already a little bit yellowy, but if it wasn't yellowy I would have perhaps put some tea stain on it. But what I've done is rip around all of the edges so I've got no straight lines. I don't want straight lines, and then I'm going to use normal PVA glue to stick them haphazardly down all over the table. Right, I've stuck it all down as best I can, and I've used my finger just to get under the edges, and now I'm using sandpaper just to smooth out the joints. Because it's paper it doesn't need too much, it's quite thin anyway. And then as you can see around the edges there's some loose bits, and I'm going to use the sandpaper. Thank you, Noodle. Partial to a bit of sandpaper. I've very deliberately not gone to the edges of the table. I wanted it to not look uniformed. I could have gone right to the edge. Noodle, what's the matter, darling? You can't have that, that's not good for you. So I'm going to carry on just finishing off the edges. You're going to help? Are you? And then we'll come back. Right, only I could do something quite as bonkers as consider putting a giraffe on a table, but I have to say I really like it. It's quite funky. So I didn't show you how I did this because basically I did this by hand, but only really because my printer has run out of ink. Otherwise I would have printed off the image that I found and done my usual image transfer of carbonating it and tracing it out and then filling it in. It really has been a bit of a colour by numbers exercise, so it wasn't fine art painting, just funky art really. And I wanted to show you, I use lots of different mediums when I'm painting. So I've used inks, and I've used acrylic paint, I've used leftover chalk paint. I mix it all up just to get the colour that I want. So you don't feel that you have to use a certain brand or a certain make or a certain type of paint when you do this stuff. You can use all of it. And then you can use Polyvine varnish once it's all dried over the top to protect it and give it a lovely waterproof finish. So this has been my fun project today. I've quite enjoyed it. It's been a laugh. It definitely looks different than my patchwork one. So I hope you like it. I hope you'll give it a go, at least have a go at the paper thing, because I think that was quite effective in its own right. And we'll tune in next time. Thank you very much for watching.